Hey everybody, welcome back to another Deck Profile Friday. In this video, we'll be covering a deck that actually won the 2015 World Championship and was used by Patrick Martinez, which is the Seismitoad EX, Manectric EX Crobat deck. This deck was, you're able to play it for the format of black and white boundaries crossed to X and Y roaring skies, and just an awesome deck. It's about disruption. It's about blocking what your opponent can do, and just slow chip damage, so you can take all 6 prizes, right? And yeah, this is a pretty awesome deck. This is actually probably one of my favorite decks in the 2015 format, as I feel like the list, like the world's list, was actually probably one of the most perfect lists that I've ever seen, as it nearly had everything. My list is not quite the same, as I do play a additional copy of Seismitoad EX rather than the Rock Guard that was used in the world's list, but still, just what an awesome deck. And yeah, let's get into the deck profile. So to start, we have, for the boy himself, Seismitoad EX. What an awesome card this is here. It has 180 HP, so it's pretty tanky. 3 retreat, is no resistance, weak to grass, which I believe was actually a pretty good weakness at the time. And 2 attacks there, one of them which we don't use, which is Grenade Hammer, as we don't have the water energies. But the one that we do use is Quaking Punch, and for 2 colorless, it does 30 damage. Your opponent can't play any item cards from his or her hand during his or her next turn. So just an awesome card to stop your opponent from playing cards. It stops things like Ultra Ball, it stops things like VS Seeker, right? It stops things like Muscle Band and Float Stone, right? All that stuff. It stops them from being played, which is absolutely awesome. And yeah, the damage output's extremely low, but when you combine it with other things, it actually is capable of taking, 2-hit KOs. So that's the main attacker of the deck. And now into the supplementary cards. So we have the Crobat line here. So the Crobat line, we got 2 of the Crobat, 3 Golbats, right? And then 4 Zubat. Another really awesome card. This, all of them are actually pretty awesome. Zubat there is so good that the reason why it's good is because it has free retreat, right? With its free flight ability. If it has no energy, it has no retreat cost, which is awesome. And we play 4 because the whole object is with this is to cycle in between Golbats and Crobats, right? And that's why we have a 4-3-2 line, because if we're able to chain it properly, everything can go off all at once, right? You typically want to have a Zubat, a Golbat, and a Crobat in play, and then when if you're able to return the Crobat to your hand, you evolve the Golbat to Crobat, and then you evolve the Zubat to Golbat, and then you're able to get more chip damage like that, and you'll do it the same thing the next turn. So speaking of Golbat, this is the Golbat here. Once again, it's got free retreat. Oh, and the weaknesses and the resistances are pretty much the same. The attacks are cool, on the Crobat and the Golbat, but we're mainly using it for its ability. So for Golbat there, it's Sneaky Bite. When you play this from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon, right? So that's really good. Swoop across there is okay. It does 10 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, so it's a nice little spread attack. which is cool. It does have some uses, but it's mainly there for Crobat. So Crobat there, what an awesome ability and surprise bite. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So if you're able to combo that with a Golbat, like in that turn that I said so a little while ago, you're able to get an extra 50 damage, right? And when you combine that with Quaking Punch, that's 80, right? Which is nearly a 2-hit KO while maintaining the item lock on your opponent's Pokemon EXs. And then Skill Dive there is a nice 30 snipe to anywhere, so pretty cool. So that's the Crobat. And then lastly, we play 2 Manectric EX and then 2 Shaman EX. Yeah, I really like these. These are my full arts. So Manectric EX here has 170 HP. It's got 1 retreat, resistance to metal, weakness to fighting, which is, I don't think, too great of a weakness, but you know, we only attack with this when we have to. Over on there, does 20 and then 20 snipe. And then Assault Laser is actually extremely useful, as we do play the Lightning in the deck. If your opponent's active Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached, this attack does 60 more damage. So the tools that are typically played are like Head Ringer, Muscle Band, Float Stone, right? That's 120 damage for 2 energy. And if you're able to combo that with Muscle Band, that's 140. If you're able to combo that with either a Crobat, that's 170. Or if you go Golbat, that's 160. And then, you know, we play other damage modifiers in the deck. You can easily achieve that 1-hit KO on your opponent's Pokemon EX. So just a fantastic card. I love this card as a secondary attacker. And then Shaman there, you know, obviously it's Shaman, right? It's the, I guess the copy of Uxie from Legends Awakened, Diamond and Pearl. If you remember that card, it's got 110 HP, 1 retreat, weakness to fighting again, weakness to lightning, resistance to fighting, which is cool. And then obviously the ability there is set up. When you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may draw cards until you have 6, which is really good. And then Sky Return, right? Return this Pokemon and all cards attached to your hand. So if you absolutely needed to, right, you can double colorless this, right? You can put a Muscle Band on it, and you can play like a Crobat or a Golbat, and then possibly the next turn get enough damage for that KO that you needed to get on that EX. So really cool, and that is it for the Pokemon. So now we'll get into the trainers, supporters, and stadiums. So for the supporters here, we have probably the second best draw card in the format, which is N. The best draw card in the format, which is Professor Juniper. 2 Lysander, the old school boss's orders. 1 AZ, 1 Colress, 1 Pokemon Center lady, and then 1 Xerosic. So N is like a Rockets admin. You know, you shuffle and draw up to the number of prizes you have, and your opponent does the same. Juniper is just a straight draw 7. Lysander, you're able to switch your opponent's Pokemon with a Pokemon on their bench. Right, you pick, which is awesome. Get those KOs when you need to. Xerosic is a nice little card to return things to your hand. So it's great on Crobats and Golbats, right, to use those abilities again. It's also good for taking away extremely damaged Pokemon. Right, and by the way, because these are all supporters, they're all reusable with VS Seeker, right? Colress there is another little draw card. Shuffle your hand into your deck, and then draw a card. Draw cards equal to the number of bench Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's. So, if you're able to keep a full bench, which you should with this deck, right, you're going to be drawing a minimum of 5 cards, right? And, you know, especially if you're playing the mirror, it's a possible 10 cards that you're going to draw off the top. So, another really awesome card. Pokemon Sensor Lady is like a nice little heal. It heals 60, and that could be the difference between a 2-hit KO and a 3-hit KO, right? And then Zero Sick. Another little disruption card. Choose a tool or a special energy card attached to a Pokemon in play, either yours or your opponent's, and discard it. So if you're able to combo that with Quaking Punch, you know, you can you know, definitely put a stop to their game plan. And that is it for these supporters, right? So we'll go into the stadiums quickly, right? As we only play 1 stadium, but we do play 3 copies of it, right? And it's probably one of my favorite stadiums to ever be printed, and that is a Burbank City gym. So it says put 2 damage counters on your opponent's poisoned Pokemon in between turns, right? And you're probably asking, well, how do you poison with this deck, right? What card, you know, gives your opponent this poison special condition? Well, when you combo that with one of the best trainer cards in the deck, Hypnotic Laser, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned. And then flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active is now asleep, right? So that's absolutely awesome. What an awesome trainer card this is. It's extremely annoying to play against, right? And it's, like I said earlier, it's one of the ways that we use to chip damage on our opponent, right? And then that way we can keep them under that Quaking Punch lock. So that's like the main trainer, but then we also do play some other trainers. We play some consistency cards like 4 Ultra Ball, right? We play cards to reuse our Crobat, Golbat, and Shaymins like Super Scoop Up, right? We play cards to reuse our supporters like VS Seeker. Some more disruption in 2 Headringer. Team Flare Hyper Gear Headringer. And then lastly, 2 Muscle Band for more damage, right? Which is absolutely cool. Yeah, so Ultra Ball searches out for any Pokemon. It's great to combo with Shaymin, as well as it drops your hand size. Super Scoop Up reuses your Shaymins, Golbats, and Crobats, but as well it can be used to deny a KO. VS Seeker allows us to reuse supporters that are in the discard, which we do discard quite a bit between Juniper and Ultra Ball. Headringer there is another really awesome card. So if you don't know what this does, the attacks of the Pokemon that this card is attached to become a colorless more. And then it says when this card is removed from the Pokemon for any reason, put this card into its owner's discard pile, which is normal, but you know, increasing the cost of your opponent's attacks is absolutely crazy, because that makes that Quaking Punch a 3 energy attack, which means a single double colorless energy is not going to do, right? Yeah, pretty cool. And then Muscle Band there, an extra 20 when needed. So between Muscle Band, between Hypnotic Laser, between Golbat, between Crobat, you know, you're adding a possible 90 damage, right, out of nowhere, right? If you play your cards right, and if you don't reuse the abilities, you know, with things like Super Scoop Up or I believe it was AZ, right? So really awesome. And that is the trainers. So lastly, we'll get into the energy cards. There isn't a whole lot, you know. Decks have been playing, you know, such little energy for you know, pretty much as long as I can remember. You know, usually around 8 to 10. We play 8 in this deck, and we play 4 double colorless energy, and then 4 lightning energy for the Manectric. So the double colorless is good with Shaman and the Seismitoad, and then the lightning energy is good with, you know, obviously the Manectric there, but it can be used for pretty much anything. It still allows you to get that turn 2 Quaking Punch if you just attach 2 lightnings to the Seismitoad. So one thing I absolutely extremely dislike is attaching a lightning energy to a Seismitoad, and then you're trying to find another energy, so you don't waste, you know, a double colorless, and then you end up getting a double colorless, and you have to, you know, attach it to the Seismitoad with the lightning, just so you can Quaking Punch, which is actually kind of annoying, but as well, you know, it does you're able to retreat with it, right? Gives you that 3 energy cost to retreat, so just really annoying to do. But yeah, this is the deck here, Seismitoad with Crobat. Not too sure with the matchups and you know, in this day and age here, right? But yeah, I do know that a lot of the Pokemon there, I believe, had around 170 to 200 HP, and you know, this deck can definitely hit within that range, so if you play the right cards. So but yeah, this is Seismitoad Crobat. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and yeah, give the deck a try out. So it was for the 2015 format. It won the World Championships by Patrick Martinez in the senior division, and the format was black and white boundaries crossed to X and Y roaring skies. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you, like I said, if you enjoyed what you're seeing. And don't forget to check out any of my other videos. There's a lot out there. A lot of openings, which happen on Sundays now. Wednesdays, there's some more live gameplay with current format. Occasionally, I'll do like an old school game. And then Fridays are deck profile Fridays. So a week from today, there will be another one. So, yeah. And, yeah, try it out and let me know what you think. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for watching, and take care, and see you in the next video.